afternoon. Each year, House Democrats go through a process of defining what our priorities would be for the session. This is a mission statement, if you will. It is a process of synthesizing the opinions of the members of our caucus, and while the results may not be a surprise to anyone who knows House Democrats, the process is important, and we think going through it's important, and we think what we have come up with is important. We think the state ought to keep moving forward and not go backwards. We think that we need to focus on saving jobs, creating jobs, and enhancing our business climate. And when I say business climate, I mean all of the things that make up the reasons that business comes to North Carolina, including quality of life and education and healthcare and all those things. Secondly, to protect our education system from cuts that would devastate public education and our children's future, and the community colleges and the universities as well. Thirdly, help our most vulnerable citizens. We will fight to preserve critical services needed as our economy recovers. We will not turn our back on those in the community who are struggling. And fourthly, respect and protect the rights of all North Carolinians. We have seen those rights under attack from the other side already in the short time that we have been here. So we have gone through the process. We have had a committee to lead us in that process. The tri-chairs of that committee were Representative Womble, Representative Ross, Representative Tolson. I'd like to call on each of them, and then we'll be happy to take your questions. I'll turn it over now to Representative Womble.
Thank you, Mr. Leader, and thank you all for coming and being here with us on this evening. We also want to thank our Democratic Caucus. You can see that they are standing unified here with us for this announcement and release. We also want to thank the committee. There was an issues committee, and the issues committee met many times and has spent many hours. And also, we want to thank our leader who has participated and offered suggestions too. I will be just introducing you to our other two co-chairs, and with Representative Deborah Ross, who will be coming first after myself. We'll go into detail about the process. I'm sure you'd like to know, how did we come to this? These different issues that we have said that are going to be a priority for us during this legislative session. And then the other co-chair, Co-Chair Tolson, will be making a statement as to the committee itself. It's been an honor and a pleasure for me to serve as one of the co-chairs of the Issues Committee. And as you know, the Issues Committee, the one that brings forth these issues and concerns for us to see what it is that we'd like to work on, what it is that we'd like to see progress, and what it is that we'd like to see to come to fruition. Again, thank you for coming and being here. We're going to call on Representative Ross to walk you through the process that we used in order to come up with the 4 objectives that our leader has already mentioned to you. Representative Ross.
Thank you very much, Representative Womble. For those of you who have been around for a while, we actually do this every session. Our caucus has done this every session, and I've had an opportunity to work with Representative Womble on it. It was a little bit different this session because we weren't in the majority. We're in the minority, and that means that we're not coming up with a list of the 30 bills that we can guarantee will get passed. And so it was a different process for us. Every single member of our caucus was solicited for their ideas and their input about what was most important to them. Every single member. This agenda isn't coming from special interest groups, and it isn't coming from lobbyists, and it isn't coming from PACs. It's coming from the elected representatives that are in this House Democratic Caucus. These are our priorities. These are the consensus items that came from surveys, multiple meetings, and inputs from every single member. These are things that we all can believe in. And we have experts in our caucus on each of these issues, and so if you have questions, after we've heard from Representative Tolson, there are members of our caucus who can address your questions and who can call on all of the expertise that they've gained in leadership positions throughout these sessions.
Thank you, and it's good to be with you today to share these thoughts about what our caucus will be pushing and working hard to accomplish this session. Has already been iterated. We're about jobs. We're about education. We're about helping those people in our community that are vulnerable, that are struggling. We've got to make sure that we continue to provide the services they need. So whatever it takes for us as a Democratic caucus, we're going to be pushing these issues to make sure that these people are served, that these people that really need these services are going to have access to them. And we know there's got to be some cuts, but we've got to make sure that we protect those people that are most vulnerable. And also we've got to make sure that we keep education strong, because that's what's going to prepare our state to continue to move forward. We think that we've got a good process here. We worked hard with our caucus to make sure it does happen, and I'll assure you, as a caucus, we're going to stand firm on these issues and be a spokesman for the people across this state relating to these issues. Thank you.
We want to thank also Leslie Martis, who has helped us tremendously and offered a great deal of support. We're going to turn it over to our leader now, our leader, Representative Hackney.
Be happy to take your questions.